From One Hub Stadium in Brisbane, welcome back to the Australian Baseball League on Bandits.tv. Tonight, we wrap up our doubleheader and round 8 between the Canberra Cavalry and the Brisbane Bandits. With Australian silver medalist Paul Gonzalez, I'm Eric Bramer. The Bandits took Game 1 of today's doubleheader by a score of 8-1. They scored 6 runs in the third inning and put it in hand early. That allowed Tim Atherton to cruise through 6 solid innings. The bullpen is well rested, and the Bandits send Travis Blackley to the mound tonight, trying to complete the doubleheader sweep and win this series.
Yeah, look, Game 1 was fantastic. You talk about textbook baseball. Bandits did one thing that I haven't seen in a long time. They played good execution baseball. They didn't live by the long ball. Actually, no home runs in Game 1. And Atherton pitched to typical form here at One Hub Stadium, and that'll come down to the veteran left-hander Travis Blackley in Game 4.
Blackley was not on the active roster for the Bandits when they traveled to Canberra a month ago. His pitching opponent tonight is Stephen Chambers. Chambers pitched for the Bandits from 2010 to 2013 and again in part of 2014. He has been with the ABL as long as the ABL has been around. This year, not a whole lot of time on a game mound. Only 5 innings. He's allowed 2 runs with 5 hits. But he has a track record, and he is the type of guy you can depend on, hopefully, if you're the Cavalry in the finale.
Yeah, look, on the positive side for the Bandits against Chambers, good competitor. He's competed in the league for a number of years. They're very familiar with his stuff. He's a fly ball guy, and this is not a fly ball ballpark.
Blackley takes the mound with his team surrounding him. The Bandits are now 14-17, the same record as the Cavalry, as these two teams vie for, right now, the 5th and final spot in the ABL postseason picture. After tonight, there will be 8 games remaining. There's still a lot more baseball left to play, and if the Bandits can continue to win ball games, well, then they could set their sights higher. But as we talked about in Game 1, the goal is to make sure you're in the playoffs, and once you're there, and you never know what might happen for the 4-time defending champions. The Cavalry lineup begins with Robbie Podorski, followed by Cam Warner and Tucker Nathans. Zach Wilson bats 4th, Jarek Suter is 5th, and Chucky Robinson is 6th. Rounding out the order is Robbie Perkins, Kyle Perkins, and Kelvin Melian. Travis Blackley is 2-2 on the year with an ERA of 2.03. He has been in and out for injury and other personal absences, but when he's been on the mound, he's been good.
Yeah, and look, what you know you're going to get with Blackley is a quality start. He's a competitor. He's going to pitch probably not to the velocity that he used to, but he pitches extremely smart. He uses a number of different pitches, and really one of his other big kryptonite and his big weapon is his pickoff. So see if that comes into play today.
Blackley's last start came in the finale at Perth. That was a game the Bandits won, and Blackley did receive the winning decision. 6 innings, 1 run on 4 hits. That 1 run came on a home run, and he struck out 7 batters. I know that he felt good about his ability to get swings and misses, and maybe that's something that will carry into tonight's start. We have not had, I don't believe, any precipitation, though it's been threatening to rain for the better part of the afternoon. We hope that that will hold up, and we can complete this game and this series uninterrupted. Robbie Podorski steps in, and we're just about ready for baseball as we wrap up this long day at One Hub Stadium. First pitch is swung on and popped up into shallow right field. Out is Grant Kay. He gives way to Donald Lutz, who makes the catch. 1 pitch, 1 out. First pitch thrown at 6:02.
And that's what Blackley wants. He wants to pitch fast. He wants to pitch to contact, and he wants quick outs. That'll allow him to go deeper in this ball game. Ben's been very fortunate. With Atherton going deep, they only had to use Frost in Game 1. So the bullpen actually been used extremely well this series. So that'll give David plenty of options in Game 4.
Cam Warner is in at second base for the nightcap. He started at Game 1 at third base. There's a strike called by Paul Latta. He's joined at first base by umpire Tom West and at third base by James Shields. First pitch temperature is 30 degrees. I beg your pardon, it's dropped down to 27 in the time since. 1 hopper to third, fielded by Darville. He throws across the diamond. 2 quick outs for Blackley here in the top of the first inning.
Well, and that's what you want. You pitch to soft contact and keep your pitch count down. You'll see probably Tucker will probably come in this situation, probably take a pitch, let him work a little bit harder. But one thing I'm just I'll keep my eye on out is there is rain to the west of Brisbane, but if that splits or that goes by, should be a light shower and shouldn't disrupt much.
Tucker Nathans is the lone lefty in this righty-heavy Cavalry order. Blackley's first pitch gets a swing and a miss.
Well, they're swinging early, so obviously they've said let's jump on out and be aggressive with the bats and not let him work ahead in the count. So a lot of times guys will do that against veteran arms.
Lefties actually have a slightly higher batting average against Blackley this year. They're batting .226, whereas righties are only hitting .200. But the righties have done the most damage. 4 homers, 9 runs batted in. Lefties have 1 homer and 1 RBI. When you see reverse splits like that, you think about the changeup and the action of pitches that go away from the arm action. That's the case with Blackley. He's got his 2-seam fastball that runs into lefties and away from righties. Those pitches tend to be most effective against opposite-handed opponents. And the count is 2-2.
And that's the pitch he wants. Tucker didn't like it, but that's a tough pitch for a lefty. It's that little cutter, that little almost like a slider, and it just counts the outer half. So there's not a lot you can do with it as a left-handed hitter. So if Blackley continues to get that tonight, he'll be tough against the lefties.
2-2. Just missed the corner. Blackley walked off the mound as if he thought it was a strike.
Well, that's the one he wants. Like I said, he just a little bit probably more fringe right there. Martinez will have a word with Ladd if he thinks he's not getting a pitch. But like I said, that's just a little bit more, see if he can stretch that outer half. But it's the one that Tucker was saying he sees off the plate.
Zach Wilson waits on deck. The pitch from Blackley. Off the end of the bat, rolled towards third. Tough play for Darville. Throws on the run. In time, and they got him. Wes Darville with another shining play at third base. It's a 1-2-3 first inning for Travis Blackley, and the Bandits are coming to bat.
Taking off overseas this year? You wouldn't believe who you may run into at the airport. The Brisbane Bandits have partnered with award-winning China Airlines to be our gateway to the world. China Airlines operate the brand new Airbus A350 out of Brisbane, so you can be assured of a safe, comfortable and relaxed flight to wherever you may be headed. With daily flights from Brisbane to Auckland and return, you may just bump into a few of our champions lending a hand on board. And we'll be doing our best to live up to China Airlines 5-star services. So wherever you're heading overseas on China Airlines, keep an eye out for the Brisbane Bandits. You just never know who you might see.
In the last 4 years, we have put up some numbers. Led the league in hits, RBIs, stolen bases, slugging, home runs, batting average, ERA, single season saves record. We've had 2 home run champions, 2 league MVPs, 4 ABL championships. But none of this would have been possible without Brett Sports, the official equipment partner of the Brisbane Bandits.
Scoreless between the Bandits and the Cavalry as we head to the home half of the first inning at One Hub Stadium in Brisbane. The Bandits' batting order begins with Tim Colwell, followed by Logan Wade, Jeremy Martinez, Wes Darville, Mitch Nielsen, Donald Lutz, Wade Dutton, Grant Kay, and David Sutherland. Those 9 will face Stephen Chambers, a familiar face and a former Bandit. He returns to One Hub Stadium, where last year he pitched in the playoffs for the Cavalry, but unfortunately for him, it didn't go all that well. 4 1/3 innings of relief, he allowed 9 runs, 8 of them earned, and led up 4 home runs in the playoffs as the Bandits made a statement in Game 1 of that 3-game series. They eventually took it in 3 games. Tim Colwell had a great Game 1 of our doubleheader. He was 3 for 4 with 2 singles, a double, an RBI, and 2 runs scored. Chambers won't overpower you. Fastball, curveball, some other secondary pitches. There's a strike to Colwell. Lined out to right field. Coming on and sliding is Suter, and he makes the catch.
Good sliding catch by Suter right there for out number 1, and just staying with that ball off the bat, off Colwell.
Up next, Logan Wade. Let's see the Cavalry in the field. Perkins, Podorski, and Suter in the outfield. Catcher is Robbie Perkins. Wilson, Warner, Melian, and Nathans around the infield. Wade takes up and away. Wade was 1 for 2 with an RBI double and 2 walks earlier this afternoon. Switch hitter batting lefty. Chop to first. High first top is taken by Wilson to the bag. Quickly 2 down. I don't know how aware these players are of the radar. And whatever might be coming, I don't think is going to be too heavy, but you played a long time Gons in any number of weather conditions. Does that change the way that you attack at bats?
No, but it has the biggest effect on pitchers, obviously. Once you start getting disruption, that's who it affects the most. Position players will have to make adjustments, and that's just part of their game. And obviously when it's raining and you're trying to hit and there's rainfall, if it does come to that. So, but the big effect will be on the arms if there's a delay.
Jeremy Martinez sat game 1. He's the catcher here for the nightcap. For that matter, he only played 6 innings of last night's game, as that one got out of hand and they decided to rest their durable backstop. Martinez has been great for the Bandits. A .321 batting average, leading all regulars. Takes a called third strike. He's gone on 3 pitches, and both pitchers have quick 1-2-3 first innings. On already to the second on Bandits.tv.
Can't you see my heart is lost without you? And your kisses make me love you more. And your kisses make me love you more. Can't you hear the sound of love and desire? Kiss me, baby, touch me. Kiss me, baby, love me.
There are the Outlaws. Bandits have won the first 2 games out of 3 in this round 8. Winning on Thursday, losing on Friday, and winning game 1 earlier today. Elsewhere around the league, the Adelaide Giants walked off again, beating the Perth Heat this afternoon by a score of 2-1. In Geelong, the Melbourne Aces won 12-2 over Geelong Korea. That was game 1 of a doubleheader. They're underway in Sydney between the Blue Sox and the Tuatara. That one's scoreless in the 3rd. First pitch from Travis Blackley to Zach Wilson, misses up and away ball 1. How about those Adelaide Giants?
Tell you what,
They have a flair for the dramatic.
Yeah, and that comes into play. When you're a ball club that feels that you can win, even when you're down late in a ball game, and they've done that consistently all year. That is a recipe for success.
Chopped foul. They are a young team. They have not proven themselves in the postseason, but you have to respect what they've been able to do. They got a new look, new branding and all that, and they've used it to really hit the reset button and have a fresh start.
As well as new ownerships. You look at Adelaide Crows as their parent owner.
popped up, shallow right. Kay is out, Lutz is in, and it's Lutz to make the catch. 4 up, 4 down. That ball was up there.
He's a guy you always comes to the plate and you kind of hold your breath because he's kind of like Delman Young, and if he barrels something, even if he doesn't barrel it clean, the ball jumps off his bat. So Bandits can continue to pitch well against a tough out.
Jarek Suter takes a strike. Now Suter, now in the Chicago Cubs organization, will have to say goodbye to the ABL here. There's a chance this will be his last game.
Yeah, it depends on what the Cubs' plans are, obviously. And like I said, if he turns out to be a transition guy, when I say transition guy, going from outfield, which he has tools in the outfield. We've seen plus arm, runs well, and uses the whole field. But if they decide to convert him into a pitcher, then allow him to get into spring training and just start refining some of the mechanics, because it's not all about arm strength. You still got to develop secondary pitches and command of the zone.
New in 2020 will be the 26th man on the Major League Baseball roster. There are also going to be limits to situations in which you can use a position player on the mound. Game has to be well out of hand, as we've seen more and more managers utilize position players to try and save the bullpens.
Yeah, and the other one will be the big shift discussion. I know there's been talks about banning the shift. It's been big in all levels. Even you see a lot of ABL playing a lot of shifts now as well. So that too could be a game changer.
Upstairs, 2-2.
Seeing the game at all levels going through evolution periods. They were talking about potentially remote umpires. There was soft discussions around moving the mound back slightly.
Blackley wants to reset the signs. Chopped up the middle. A chance for Wade. Low hop, but he stays with it and throws on to first. Suter retired.
That's a good play by Logan. It initially off the bat came off the bat hard up the middle, and then it kind of decelerated on him, but he did a good job of staying with the baseball. Suter runs well, and Logan able to stay with it and complete the play for out number 2.
Here's Chucky Robinson. Robinson was the catcher in Game 1. He's the DH here in Game 2. First pitch breaking ball misses down and in ball 1.
Blackley wants that one right there. And good location down in the zone right there. But everything's going to work down and just give guys different looks, and then utilize the fastball off the secondary pitches.
Foul back. Tim Atherton retired the first 8 batters he faced in Game 1 of the doubleheader. Blackley well on his way. 2-1. Blackley has allowed 11 runs this year, but only 6 have been earned. And he's allowed 5 home runs. Robinson with a liner. Played on a hop by Kay, moving backwards, throws on target, and that will retire Robinson. Some nifty footwork by the Bandits infield through the first 2 innings. 6 up, 6 down for Travis Blackley. Bandits bats will go back to work on Bandits.tv.
At the Sporting Globe, we're a little different to other pubs and bars. We have more than just cooks, we have chefs. We have more than bar service, we have table service. We have more than live sporting events, we have atmosphere. And we have more than customers, we have fans. It's more than a sports bar, it's a Sporting Globe.
No one knows what the future of transportation will look like.
Robots.
But no matter what, Enterprise can help. You can rent a car for a road trip.
Look, kids, nature.
Oh, wow. You can rent a truck for a move. You can buy a car, commute in a van pool, or get picked up because your car is in a pool. My bad. Count on Enterprise, no matter where transportation goes next.
Let's go.
I love the future. How can Enterprise pick you up today?
Hey, Thomas.
Yeah?
Is it fun playing at festivals?
It's pretty good, mate. Get to see amazing places, meet new people. Everyone's just pumped to be there. And you get to do the sign-off.
Queensland, where life's beautiful one day and perfect the next.
No base runners through the first inning and a half here at One Hub Stadium in Brisbane. Bandits with a win tonight will take this series. It would be their first series win since sweeping Geelong Korea back in round 2. I'm going to say hello to Trent Kosh, watching the Bandits game over breakfast from Germany. He's not our only Bandits viewer from Germany. I know we do big numbers over there. Some of the Bandits players are in the German Bundesliga in the Northern Hemisphere summer. Wherever you're tuning in, thanks for making us a part of your evening, morning, afternoon, whatever. First pitch is strike to West Darville. Bandits are home next weekend for round 9 against Sydney. That'll be Thursday, Friday, and Saturday again. Darville with a fly into left towards the line. Perkins with a long run over. Fair territory, he makes the catch.
So far, Chambers done a good job in inning 1, a very quick 1-2-3 inning, and now here in inning 2, he makes quick work of Darville.
Mitch Nielsen is next. Switch hitter batting lefty. He's been the DH for both ends of the doubleheader. Bluffing a bunt, he takes a strike. In game 1, he was 0 for 2 with a walk. He also drove in a run on a grounder to second that was booted by Nathans. Fouled straight back, it's 0-2. Anyway, I mentioned that we're going to be home again for round 9 to tell you that that is going to be the last Bandits.TV weekend of the year. Popped up. Foul and out of play. The Bandits for round 10 will be in Auckland, and the Tuatara put together a great product on Sky TV New Zealand. And we certainly hope the Bandits make a long playoff run, but those will not be carried on Bandits.TV. Fastball up 1-2. So we'll party like it's the end of the world and have a good time next weekend.
That's it. Well, they just got to keep playing good baseball. That's the key.
Nielsen with a high fly into right center field. This ball is gone! Mitch Nielsen puts the Bandits on the board. A solo shot. It's an Empire Jerky home run, and $100 will be donated by the Bandits to the Bushfire Appeal. More than one reason to be happy about that blast off the bat of Mitch Nielsen.
Yeah, he got a pitch up in the strike zone, and that's a big hit for Mitch. He's a big contributor to this lineup. Like I said, Bandits showed a lot of promise as far as execution baseball, but he got a pitch up in the zone. Wind is slightly blowing, but he crushed that baseball.
It's Nielsen's second home run of the year. Here's Donald Lutz. Outlaws. Chop to first.
Good play.
Nice pickup by Wilson. 3 unassisted for out number 2. You can tell the Outlaws are into it when they start, banging on the chairs and doing that stuff.
Remember, it's been a good session. Bandits put up a big number in game 1, 8-1, and so they've had a chance to hydrate in game 1, and now they've got momentum for game 2.
They've got an Instagram account, and I saw them post a picture from the Newmarket Hotel down the road. They had their steaks for lunch and some body armor recovery drink.
So they preloaded with recovery.
Yeah,
so
that's what you're supposed to do, I guess.
Preload. Good
to see Wade back in the lineup. He was a scratch last night. High fly right center field. The Bandits might have another. It's gone! Wade Dutton in his return to the lineup goes to the opposite field. It's the second homer of the inning, and it's 2-0 Brisbane lead. Wade Dutton is heating up. That's his 5th of the year, 2nd of the
and that's up in the zone, and Dutton does.
On Bandits.tv.
Brett Sports seated ball organizer fits 5 dozen baseballs. Polyester construction means it is durable and its functional pockets allow for flexibility in storage. An adjustable strap and soft cushioned seat means that this organizer is essential for use at training.
We saw how much Tim Atherton benefited from an early lead in Game 1 of today's doubleheader. Now staked to a 2-0 advantage. We'll see how Travis Blackley responds. 6 up, 6 down for the lefty. He'll face 7, 8, and 9 in the Cavalry order. Perkins, and Millian.
Well, the Bandits just got to continue to swing the hot bat. We've seen glimpses of that spark throughout the year, but not consistently. This is probably one of the series where, with the exception of Game 2, where they faced a very tough lefty.
First pitch to Robbie Perkins is a strike.
They were contained as an offensive ball club, but Game 3 they played just good execution baseball, and Game 4 they seemed to be swinging the bats aggressively.
Just missed the inside corner, held a split second longer by Martinez, who wanted the call, 1-1. Blackley peers over his glove to take the sign. Fouled at the plate, 1-2. Swing and a miss. Blackley has his first strikeout and the first out of the third inning.
That's a good pitch right there, and good location. Looks like that cutter in on the hands. It starts off on the inner half, and then probably just before it crosses home plate, it breaks into the righties and ties them up. So good pitch, good location.
Now Kyle Perkins. Perkins had a great night last night. 4 for 4 with 2 doubles, a homer, and 5 runs batted in, but he was 0 for 3 in game 1. Ball 1 misses. Blackley pitch is popped up. Foul territory, first base side. Sutherland has room, and he makes the catch. 2 down. Now Kelvin Melian. Melian got his first hit out of the way. Checks his swing and holds up. Ball 1. He went 1 for 2 in game 1 with a single his first time up.
Tell you what, he made a big league play in game 1 of the doubleheader. Just balled to his right and came up and fired from his knees. It's definitely got to be potentially a top 5 players of the week.
Melian in the San Diego Padres system.
He's got some good defensive tools at short, and Canberra have been known to have some pretty good products playing shortstop for him over the course of the years. One being Didi Gregorius, now with the Philadelphia Phillies.
Melian chops foul, 2-2. Melian played for 3 different clubs in 2019. Tri-City Dust Devils, Fort Wayne Tin Caps, and the Lake Elsinore Storm. Breaking ball low, 3-2 to the 9th place hitter. It's the closest any Cavalry batter has come to finding his way on base. Leadoff man Robbie Podorski is on deck. Payoff pitch. Chopper to third. Darville has it. 9 up, 9 down. A perfect first trip through the order for Travis Blackley. The Bandits take a 2-0 lead to the bottom of the 3rd.
Great job, Chef.
Thanks.
Who wants a drink?
Let's go, Archer. Beers away.
Thank you, Archer.
Looks like these guys are working up a tropical thirst, Archer.
Thank you, Archer!
Beers to the beach.
Yeah! Thank you, Archer!
They look thirsty down there in the outback, Archer.
We'll all be.
Thank you, Archer!
Yeah!
Good boy, Archer.
Yeah, that's fine.
2-0 Bandits on top of the Cavs as we head to the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Somewhat surprising, the Cavs have already made a pitching change. We did not see the closer Stephen Kent in the first 3 games, and because he's fresh and because he has started in the past, they decided now is the time to pull the parachute and send in their best reliever.
Yeah, and it doesn't. The only thing I can think of, he actually didn't throw the ball poorly. Actually pitching to soft contact, he gave up the 2 home runs, but he'd been very effective. So there may be a potential injury. We'll get a report and make sure Chambers is okay. But Kent is their closer, but he hasn't been utilized all weekend, and he has the ability to start. So this is a good move by Canberra because he is tough on the Bandits.
The line for Chambers reads 2 innings, 2 hits, 2 runs, both earned. No walks and 1 strikeout. Both hits left the yard. Solo home runs from Mitch Nielsen and Wade Dutton. 9-1-2 for Brisbane. Sutherland, Colwell, and Wade against the lefty Kent. This league knows Kent well, and he knows them. Kent actually started against the Bandits back on the 22nd of December. He allowed 3 earned runs on 6 hits in 5 innings, taking the loss. That was the lone game the Bandits won in Canberra a few weeks ago. First pitch is a strike to David Sutherland.
I got a chance to watch Kent as well at the Premier 12, and he threw the ball extremely well for Team Australia. Velocity was really high, He's sitting anywhere up to 90 to 93, and obviously that secondary pitch in the breaking ball. So Bandits are familiar with his stuff, but can they make the adjustments? That's the key.
Kent has pitched for the Cavalry since 2010. Sutherland fouls off. Didn't play in the 13-14 season, but besides that, he has been a mainstay. This year, 2-4 with an ERA of 2.25. Picked up 2 saves as well. Last year was perhaps his best year in the ABL. 7-1 with an ERA of 2.90. Sutherland chases upstairs. He's a strikeout victim for out number 1 in the 3rd.
And once again, like we talked about, good velocity. He's left-handed. Bandits are a very left-handed dominant type lineup. And so now actually plays, if you look at statistics, it plays to Canberra's favor on the mound.
Tim Colwell hit the ball hard his first time up, but lined out to right. Lefty-lefty matchup. First pitch, swing and a miss.
Looks like the velo's up for Kent tonight. Blew by Sutherland in his first at-bat, and first pitch to Caldwell was up in the zone, and it's got a bit on it.
Knee-high strike, and it's 0-2.
Good pitch, good location there. So once again, like Atherton, elevated fastball and then down in the zone, just changing eye level. So now he works ahead in the count.
Kent from the wide. In on the hands, little one-hopper. Warner has to hurry, and the throw is in time. Nice dig by Wilson. Both teams have excelled on the infield defense here in Game 2 of the doubleheader. This time it's Warner's turn to flash the leather and a strong arm.
Yeah, it's a good play by Warner. That ball would have had a lot of spin off the lefty. Ball came in on his hands. He tried to keep his hands inside of it, and he's a plus runner, but good job of transitioning, get the ball out of the glove, and a good pick by Wilson for out 2.
Logan Wade will bat next. Switch hitter gets turned around. As a left-handed hitter, he grounded out to first in the first. Ball 1 is taken low and in. Fouled back, 1-1.
Just keep an eye on the bomb. So there's still light stuff out west creeping in. Just trying to look at the bandwidth of that, and hopefully it's just something light. It'll just pass.
Every effort will be made to complete this game, but the game becomes official when the losing team completes their 5th inning at bat.
The big thing is the disruption. You know, now all of a sudden Canberra have made a change, and they've thrown Kent in there. So if there are any type of delays, that's really what the individuals that has the most effect on is your arms.
Popped up, right field. Suter had trouble finding it. But he does pick it up in the twilight, and he makes the catch. A 1-2-3 third inning for Stephen Kent, and we're on to the fourth. Bandits lead it 2-0.
Yes, sir.
Taking off overseas this year? You wouldn't believe who you may run into at the airport. The Brisbane Bandits have partnered with award-winning China Airlines to be our gateway to the world. China Airlines operate the brand new Airbus A350 out of Brisbane, so you can be assured of a safe, comfortable and relaxed flight to wherever you may be headed. With daily flights from Brisbane to Auckland and return, you may just bump into a few of our champions lending a hand on board. And we'll be doing our best to live up to China Airlines 5-star services. So wherever you're heading overseas on China Airlines, keep an eye out for the Brisbane Bandits. You just never know who you might see.
In the last 4 years, we have put up some numbers. Led the league in hits, RBIs, stolen bases, slugging, home runs, batting average, ERA, single season saves record. We've had 2 home run champions, 2 league MVPs, 4 ABL championships. But none of this would have been possible without Brett Sports, the official equipment partner of the Brisbane Bandits.
The sky is ominous here in Brisbane, but the Bandits lead it 2-0 over the Cavs as we head to the top of the fourth inning. With Paul Gonzalez, this is Eric Bramer. Gonz, you take a look at the bomb radar system over the break, and you said that there's some stuff coming from the west.
Yeah, it is. So, I mean, like I said, the crew will be ready to go. I mean, we've got a full-field tarp, so they'll definitely get things down as quickly as possible and cover all the critical areas. If it's a quick shower, then we've got no issues. If it's any more than that, then obviously we'll see how that'll affect this ball game. So hopefully it won't have an effect, and we'll continue to play.
9 up, 9 down for Travis Blackley. He'll face Robbie Podorski to start off the fourth. Leadoff man takes high ball 1. Blackley's pitch count is excellent. 34 pitches, 21 for strikes. Fouled off the home plate umpire. Paul Laddis seems to be okay, 1-1. Apologies for that. We're prepping for the rain on our field mic. Two and 1. Foul back 2-2. Good crowd tonight. If it's not a sellout, it should be close. Outlaws are having a good time. We already told you that, but we probably didn't need us to notify you. Outlaws are always going to have a good time up there. The 2-2 from Blackley to Podorski. Popped up. Shallow right again. Another chance for Lutz if he sees it. And it'll fall in no man's land. A bloop double for Podorski. He's the first base runner of the game. Unfortunate that it had to happen that way, but between the twilight and perhaps a light rain that has started to fall, tough to pick up those fly balls at that height.
Yeah, and look, and that's where I talked. You talked earlier in the piece about creating havoc. So that's another one, the twilight. So Suter had a little bit of trouble picking up the last out of the last inning, and that comes into play there. But you got a very speedy runner at second base with 1 out.
Here's Cam Warner.
No out, excuse me.
And it has started to rain. We can see some droplets that have formed on the roof of the dugout. Nothing too hard, but that tells us that it might be coming.
Yeah, the crews will start they'll prep, so get electrical gear covered, obviously with bags, and then the grounds crew.
Bounced in the dirt. 1-0. Yeah, it's coming all right. And Mark Reedy circling his finger in the air saying, scramble the Jets. We got to get the tarp ready. And it's picked up in intensity too.
Yeah, so be interesting how long. Umpires got to read it too, because the reality is if they can get the tarps down, then the main thing is salvage this ball game. They're in the 4th inning. Hopefully that'll just be a shower to cool things off. And just looking at the bomb, there's a bit in it. So hopefully she'll pass and the heavy stuff will miss us and keep this game going. So now it's coming down a little bit harder.
Fouled off 1 and 2.
The other issue, there's not a lot of rain relief in the ballpark, so they'll have to find refuge where they can.
We'll have to see. Inside 2 and 2. Here's Mark Reedy. He's undercover, just like us. We're the smart ones. Swing and a miss. There's a strikeout for Blackley, out number 1. That'll bring in Tucker Nathans. And home plate umpire Paul Latta will receive a message about the status of this rain.
And that's the thing, everyone's obviously with technology able to at least to review the radar and see the situation and assess the situation. But if the heavy stuff does come down, they'll want to get it covered up as quickly as possible. And then obviously player safety comes into play as well.
I think we can play through this. Easy for me to say up in here, but if this is as heavy as it gets, we can handle that. Breaking ball for a strike. Swing and a miss. Nathans went chasing, and the count is quickly 0-2. The Cavs were gifted the double by Podorski. That was a fly ball that under normal circumstances should have been caught. And if Blackley can find a way to work out of this jam without letting Podorski score, the momentum will shift even further in Brisbane's favor. Lifted in the air to left and deep. Dutton going back, and it is gone. A game-tying 2-run homer to the opposite field for Tucker Nathans. We've got ourselves a brand new ball game. It's 2-all in the 4th. Excuse me. Dutton had a beat on it, but just ran out of room.
Yeah, I tell you what, he absolutely crushed that baseball the other way, and that's, we're talking about the ball doesn't carry that well to left. The wind is completely flat right now with the light rain coming in, but stayed on that breaking ball and able to drive it over the left field wall to tie this ball game up.
Now Zach Wilson. Chopped foul. That continues the statistical anomaly for Blackley. He has now allowed 8 earned runs this year and 6 home runs.
Looks like he's got something in his eye, so Ooh.
Driven in the air to deep center field. Caldwell going back. It's up against the wall. Hard carom. Caldwell picks it up. Throw into second. Just on the first base side, it's a double for Wilson. 4 men have batted in the fourth, and 3 have extra base hits. Go-ahead runner is suddenly in scoring position.
Well, we talked about his threat at the plate, and he hadn't done a lot of damage against the Bandits in this series, but that's what I said. Every time he steps to the plate, he's a threat. So Canberra is an offensive ball club. We're hitting .299 going into this game, and they never lay down for anyone, so the Bandits will have to continue to battle in Game 4.
Here's Jarek Suter. He grounded to short his first time up. Foul back.
Saw Gary McCoy in between.
Yeah, I had a chance to catch up with him. He was actually my roommate last year.
Yeah, he's out at the ball game today, and good to see him. He's gallivants around the world doing his specialty, and saw him on the Team Australia team this year at Premier 12, so he was part of that ball club.
High performance coach for the Bandits last year. There's a strike 0-2, and he's the current, I believe the title is strength and conditioning coach for the Australian national team.
He's worked globally, and he brings a lot of IP to the franchise as well as now to Baseball Australia. So it's always good to connect with Gary.
Driven down the left field line, that's fair and into the corner. It'll give the Cavalry a lead as Wilson scores and Suter checks in at second. 4th extra base hit of the inning. Just like that, Canberra is up 3-2.
Yeah, I tell you what, really good job of Suter right there. He got a tough pitch on the hands, and what good hitters do, they're able to pull their hands inside the baseball and not get around it, and he's able to pull his hands inside and shoot the ball down the left field line. That's another base hit for Canberra, and that'll make it now 3-2.
Jim Bennett has emerged from the covered portion of the dugout. Looks like one more base hit, and he'll make a visit to the veteran.
Ooh.
And now Blackley has been called for a balk. Jarek Suter goes to third base. Tom West called the balk, and he's barking with Blackley.
That'll bring David out.
David protecting his player and taking the heat off of Blackley. It's now raining a little bit harder too. Things have gone belly up for the Bandits in the fourth, and Jim Bennett will use this opportunity to have a mound visit with Blackley.
And that's a good mound visit. You don't want him to lose his composure. The game's still well within grasp. And like I said, you're in the fourth inning. Now you've got this rain. So it's a good timeout right now just to resettle him down and get him back focused on his execution of what he's trying to achieve.
And now Paul Latta gestured, I think, to get the tarp on the field. Yeah, the Bandits are going to leave the playing field. So too are the Cavalry, and we are going to have a rain delay here at One Hub Stadium.
There's the crew. Look at them.
The tarp comes out, and we are going to press pause on the series finale. You wonder how Blackley's fourth inning might have gone if it had not been raining, and both teams have to play under the same conditions, but he went 9 up, 9 down his first trip through the order. Here in the fourth, double, strikeout, homer, double, double. Cavalry have the lead, and we are going to, again, just keep the stream going, I believe, for now, but we're not going to talk over it because right now there's not a whole lot to talk about. So we will keep you updated as we can. We might give you the occasional image of the field, and again, we're optimistic that we will play baseball later tonight. This is the right call based on the way the rain's coming down. This is not an official game. We need to get through 5 innings for the losing team at bat for this game to become official and final. You can keep the stream open. We also encourage you to keep an eye on the Bandits social media channels, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And we hope to be back with you later on tonight. For Paul Gonzalez, this is Eric Bramer saying, stay dry. You're watching Bandits.tv. Hey everybody, welcome back to One Hub Stadium. As you can see, the rain has unfortunately not stopped, so this game has been canceled.
Yeah, look, it's definitely not going to be playable by the time, and with the curfews here, there's no way these guys, as quickly as they got the tarp on, they won't be able to salvage this ball game. So unfortunately for the Bandits and Canberra Cavalry, this game will be canceled.
And that concludes round 8. The game did not get to the 5th inning, so none of the stats are valid. Unfortunately for Mitch Nielsen and Wade Dutton, their home runs won't count. But that is unfortunately a fact of life here, and as we are reminded again, things are bigger than baseball. This rain is welcome in the region.
Absolutely, and look, unfortunately, but a good outcome for the Bandits overall. 2 wins, 1 loss against a very tough team. Now they've tied with Canberra for that playoff spot, that 5th spot, and it'll really come down to both clubs over the next 2 weeks on how they decide they want to finish out the season.
The Bandits are back in action for round 9 on Thursday here at One Hub Stadium as they take on the Sydney Blue Sox in round 9. We'd love to see you at the ballpark. For ticket information, go to brisbanebandits.com.au, but if you can't make it, join us here on bandits.tv. It'll be our last home series of the regular season. For Paul Gonzalez and the rest of the Hailstorm TV production crew, this is Eric Bramer signing off. Tonight's game has been canceled due to rain.